if there's anything we are all going to agree on, is the fact that 2025 has been very historic and, of course, eventful for this great country, the government and its people. From insecurity to economic challenges and even to political tussle, especially within the fold of political parties, Nigeria this year has been redefined in ways that are too numerous to mention on a program such as Global Morning. However, we'll take our time this morning to look at them one at a time, beginning with insecurity. Apparently, people have to be alive to discuss politics and talk about issues that have to do with the economy. For Nigeria this year, insecurity has topped the charts, as they say in music. The reason is obvious, because we've seen the last 15 years presenting so much of challenge in this regard. And this year particularly has been such that the United States government had to weigh in to say, look, we've got to do things differently. Long story short today, the government
played a key role because most governors are up their game when it comes to security and seeing that abductors are being released by these bandits going all out. So it's something that we should be grateful for. It's not as high as it was before, but slowly dwindling down. And that's a step in the right direction. And that's been hopeful, and that's a good news. And at the same time, although lots of work has to be done when it comes to these key areas. Like we mentioned, when I read the news this morning, key areas when it comes to budget, like what our president presented to the National Assembly, he said education, security, and infrastructure. Was it health?
Right.
Okay. So when you look at these, I always tell people all sectors are important because it plays one or two roles in our lives and all of that. But you see, these key areas when it comes to health, education, infrastructure, security, it goes a long way. It's part of our basics in life. So it's very important that we understand all of that, and it's very important that we nip this in the bud as soon as possible. If it was like this at the beginning, when insurgency, terrorism, kidnapping all started and everyone was up their game, I don't think we'd have lost a lot of individuals. A lot of people wouldn't have died carelessly because of this particular menace. But so far, well, it's better late than never, they say. And this is something that it's of high appraisal.
Quite a number of things have happened in that, on that front. First of all, the president also gave an order that certain number of recruitments being done into the police force, and then the same thing for the military as well. It is just this same year we saw the change in leadership within the defense and intel community. We also saw Minister of Defense now appointed. One many people believe that is the right man for the job. Square peg and square hole, round peg round hole, and
man
things
of integrity,
like,
who understands what defense is all about, who understands the profession. Of course, being an army general, former chief of defense staff, and now the defense minister. Of course, he knows all the rudiments when it comes to defending territory. He understands all of that. So for me, he is the right man of the job, and everyone else has said that. So it's in order. Everything is in order.
And the interesting part is how that the president gave an order that, look, withdraw policemen from VIPs.
Exactly.
I knew that was going to rock the boat, and it did rock the boat. In fact, that boat is still rocking as it stands right now.
Yes, it is.
The other day, the president was on the floor of the National Assembly presenting the budget to a combination of both chambers. And we saw President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, saying that, look, you have to rethink this withdrawal order because a lot of our people, the lawmakers themselves, can no longer go home. But the question is, can Jumai go home? Can Uyi go home?
Yes.
Are we not all Nigerians?
We're all Nigerians. There's no preference. No, you all are up there. We understand you're a lawmaker. You're in our faces. Like I said, if you are doing the right thing, you will not live in fear. If you're doing the right thing for your constituency, if people can relate with you, you're doing the right thing in ensuring that people in your own terrain are doing well. You don't have to look back in fear. The thing is, that's the truth. People will love you. They won't want to hurt you. So if you're not doing the right thing and you are scared, then that's when you should be afraid. But like you said, you and I can actually go into our cars and we can drive and
go around town.
And people say hi, and people will come up to us. Oh, I remember you. Oh God, I see you on TV. Can I have your autograph? All of these things, and you're okay. The same applies to lawmakers. If you're doing the right thing, people will want to associate.
I'm afraid I'm not so sure same applies to lawmakers. Yeah, with a big if.
With a big if, and written in a capital letter and a big red. If you are doing the right thing, people will want to associate with you. People will not want to hurt you.
Right.
In fact, if someone else comes and says, okay, this is the person that we're going to attack tomorrow, if you're doing the right thing, a whistleblower will come out. Are you kidding me?
Right.
You want to attack him? Then what will happen to us? This is a line of source of livelihood. So what are you saying? So it depends, but I think that's a step in the right direction. The police is meant to protect lives and property in the nation, in our society.
Not just the VIPs.
It's not just it's not an individual thing. It's a collective thing. The police is there to serve you and I. We're taxpayers. Are you kidding me? So if one person wants preference, then I think you can hire. There are individual outlets who are security guards that you can actually hire, who are trained, by the way.
Right.
You have individuals who are, there's some security agencies around that you can actually develop them. All security outlets out there, we don't have police enforcement as guard and all of that. So you can actually do something, promote them, and they can actually do the bodyguard work that you want, carry your bags, do all that, rub your feet, carry you into the plane, run errands. Really, the police force is a force of integrity, and that is why they're so underrated. No matter how they try to rebrand themselves with their uniform, their morale and all of that, because of all the things that they do. You see them carrying bags of ministers' wives. That's not part of their, that's not their part of their terms of reference. That is not their TOR, please. They have to protect lives and property. These are individuals who have been trained to step up. There are things that concern the police, but because of how we belittle them and we look at them, we leave it to the hands of the military officers, the Army, Air Force, and Navy. There's some terrains that it's not their job description, but it is what it is. I think we should start prioritizing their job description so we can move forward. It's very important.
Right. Well, that's well said. But again, this has been a game changer for us in this country. Let's make progress now, everyone. Ramsey Enoch Abu is standing by with Inspirational for you.
Efforts and courage are not just enough without purpose and direction. No matter the effort, no matter the courage, if there is no purpose and direction, it's just a waste of time. This is coming from John F. Kennedy. It's a beautiful day. I'm so excited to inspire you. I'm so excited to be on your way so we could talk heart to heart today. What are we talking about? We want to look at purpose. If purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. You see a lot of people messing up their destinies today because they don't have purpose for their living. They don't have the purpose, the reason why they are living. If you ask some persons today, what are you living for? They don't even know. Some persons don't have a goal. Any man that everywhere is a direction for him is a directionless. It's not going anywhere. You don't just follow people to do everything anyhow just because you see people doing it. Just because it's trending, you just jump into doing it. What is your purpose for doing that thing? Well, want to look at purpose today. Just like I said, John F. Kennedy have said effort and courage are not enough without purpose and direction. What's your purpose in life? Which direction are you heading? Where are you going? Are you going with the crowd, or you have a goal, you have a pursuit, you have a purpose? When purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. Why? Because you tend to behave anyhow, because you're not going anywhere. But if you know your purpose in life, you know what you want to achieve, you know what your targets are. And that's the reason some persons, before they even get out of the house in the morning, they already have their to-do list. This is the number one thing I'm doing today. This is the second thing. Then at the end of the day, they look at their list and see what they have achieved that day. These are purposeful men. John F. Kennedy have said that effort and courage are not enough without purpose and direction. Purpose gives meaning to our actions. Whatever we do, whatever decision we want to take, we want to make today, purpose gives us direction. Purpose gives meaning to our action. Whatever you're doing today, somebody should be able to say, well, this is the reason why this young man is doing this particular thing that he's doing. This young lady is into this thing for this purpose, for this reason. Your actions and decisions will be defined, all right, by your purpose in life. Your purpose in life is defined by your action and decision. That's the only thing that gives purpose meaning. Any purpose that does not have action, that does not have decision, people who do things anyhow, I don't think they are heading anywhere. Without it, as a matter of fact, we may work hard and be brave, but still feel lost and unfulfilled because there is no purpose. You're working hard, you're brave, but still you feel lost. Sometimes you just sit down and think and begin to think, what have I achieved? I have done these things for this number of years. What is the purpose for what I have done? What have I achieved so far? So we may put in the work. It's not all about the hard work. There are people who are working very hard today. There are people who are working bravely, very brave workers. But then all of this will still feel like you still feel like you're lost in the crowd. You still feel unfulfilled if purpose is not attached to it. Because what purpose do is this: purpose helps us align our energy, shapes our goals, and offers what we call deeper experience. Why? Because that is what we do behind the scene to give purpose a focus. It acts like a compass. What does it do? Pointing us in the right direction and reminding us of what matters most. If you're a purposeful man, let me give an instance. For instance, let's say you're a businessman or there is something you're doing. Then, anytime you do research, you do it around that your endeavor. You know what? That direction, that thing you keep doing every day, as you keep doing it, you keep moving towards your purpose. It keeps giving you direction and reminds you of what matters, which is purpose. Because the only thing that matters to you is what you want to achieve in life. That's the reason sometimes the way you live your life, people may be asking questions. Why is this person so focused? Why is it that this person refuses to be distracted? We need to learn from ourselves. If you see someone who is going somewhere and you know this person is going your direction, if you're a purposeful man, you ask questions. How are you able to succeed in this endeavor in life? When we know our purpose, even the hardest tasks can become worthwhile. That is John F. Kennedy's quote. And this quote underscores the importance of intentionality. It's not enough to just be busy or brave. What truly counts is whether our actions are aligned with greater vision. Purpose-driven individuals are more focused in whatever they do. They are more persistent no matter the obstacle, no matter the trial, no matter the distraction. They are very, very persistent and more content inclined because they know that their work has significance. With purpose, our talents are better used. Our challenges may be bearable. Yeah, you know, whatever you're going through, I've heard women say, well, I need to stay in that marriage because of my children. Some women say things like that. If you counsel, if you speak to married women all the time, you hear some of them, especially those of them going through challenges. They will tell you, I will bear everything, all the challenges, all the problems because of my kids. That's because there is a purpose, there is a reason why they are bearing those challenges. The same thing is applicable to your purpose in life. And our lives will be more impactful if we are purposeful in life. Our lives, what did I say, are more impactful if we are purposeful in life. Like I said, we all need to know that purpose-driven individuals are more focused in whatever they do, they are more persistent, and they are more content inclined because they know that their work has significance, their work have a target. Whatever they do, they don't just behave anyhow. You know why? Because with purpose, our talents are better used. You don't do everything. You know, your time is streamlined. 24 hours in a day. You know that, yeah, for this purpose, for this reason, for this goal, for just this, I will need to allocate like maybe 10 hours to that purpose. There are challenges, but you try everything possible to overcome it. And our lives are more impactful. If you see a man of purpose, the way they live their life is different from the ordinary man. The way they behave is different from an ordinary man. But when you don't have purpose for living, you are into a long thing. Yeah, well, I don't have much to say today, but then I think in our subsequent talks, when we are bringing the word of encouragement, inspirational, talk heart to heart, we'll be able to break one or two things. Well, this is the size of the words today to you, the inspirationals, the hearts to hearts, but then remain purposeful in whatever you do. I am Ramsey Enoch. Thank you for being part of this inspirational today. Bye-bye for now.
You're welcome back. And of course, this is Global Morning on Global Television. That was Heart to Heart with Ramsey Enoch Agbo. And at about this time, it is the newspaper review segment. And we'll start with the first paper of the day. It is the New Telegraph. And above the nameplate, it says here, 2026 budget lawmaker approach threatens January to December cycle. And below that, it's by the side, it says here, rather to Nigerians, stop blaming governors alone for hardship. FG gets bulk of federal revenue, and that's on page 2. And of course, the next paper says 114 MDAs failed to render accounts, 40 didn't remit IGR ICPC. And next on that, it says local government funds president need no executive order to camp governors compliance, and that's from Falana, and that you will find on page 3 and page 6. Next says China Mining Federation rejects Nigerians infiltration claims, and that's on page 7. Now the star story of the New Telegraph says PDP crisis, INEC rejects Turaki-led NWC cites court judgment, and that's on page 2 and 4. Now, beside that, Six Rivers Rep 2 senators dump PDP for APC, and that's on page 2 and 4. They have encouraged principle forward looking, okay, and that's from Rivers Governor. And on page 3 and 27, it says insecurity, terrorists using POS to collect ransom, and that's from NCTC, says kidnapping sustained by community informants. And the next one is a reps urge security approach to rescue 27 adopted persons in Plateau. And below that, it says NIN, CAC, and numbers to become official tax IDs from 2026. And that's from the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS. And the writer there says here, it says NBA seeks probe of controversies on Tax Reform Act. And that's page 2 and 4. Costly Christmas, Nigerians battle festive price hikes. And that's on page 14 and 16. You can remember in Kano State, we hear that there was fluctuation when it comes to the price, when it comes to food. It was on the down low, and now it's a festivity, and now it's on the up low.
Prices are skyrocketing.
Skyrocketing. And for me, I don't know why we go back and forth in all of this, because it is a norm.
Because of the season, right?
Because of the season. Now look at it. Of course, Dangote has reduced his fuel price and all MRS filling stations to
39.
Exactly. But yet there is still high cost of transportation. Transporters, individuals who are traveling to different parts of the state to celebrate festivities with family, loved ones, and friends, are still complaining of the high cost of transportation, despite the fact that the fuel price has gone down. Now, it's worrisome.
It is.
It's really worrisome that motorists, or will I say transport individuals, they do not comply with this. They still want to stick with the fact that even if petrol has come down, even if the fuel is on the down low, we will still increase our price.
Right.
So I think there should be something done when it comes to monitoring these transporters. And that's why we have the Transport Association of Nigeria, individuals who can actually comply with this. And it's just unfortunate that we are the ones feeling the brunt of all of this. Going from here to, let me use somewhere close, we'll say. The 3,000, we'll say it's just here.
Right.
And it's
and they tell you it's the cost of fuel.
Exactly. And so I do not understand. When are we going to see the end of all of this? When will it actually...
Right.
When can we feel the relief of the fuel price coming down with transport systems and all of that? It's a very serious concern.
Quite serious. And same thing you can say of food items. Yeah, quite sad. Somebody said a bag of rice sold for between 80 and 100,000 at the time. And food vendors told you, well, you know, rice is expensive.
Really?
Now it has dropped by, in some cases, as much as half.
Yes,
and the same food vendors are selling at the same prices. And nobody is there, like you said, to regulate. So the mechanism for regulation is either not there at all or is totally weak. And when you have such a situation, exploitation is guaranteed.
Yes, like you said, well said, I wouldn't have put it better. So the next paper, over to you.
All right, let's take a look at the Daily Trust for you, everyone. We'll begin with the headlines, 3 of them, just right beneath the nameplate. Top right, it says, officers missing as terrorists attack civil defense posts in Niger. Quite a sad incident.
Very sad.
About that. Nigeria edge Tanzania in hard-fought AFCON 2025 opener. Excuse me. Kidnappers collected 2.57 billion naira ransom in 1 year, reports. That sounds like some mini industry. 2.7 billion naira is quite a lot of money.
It's a lot.
Giovanni. And to think that this was realized through a very clandestine, inhuman, ungodly, and criminal enterprise
immoral.
makes it even more worrisome.
Yes, it is very worrisome. And that is why this is one of the fastest growing. I don't want to call it a business because, God forbid, this is evil as far as I'm concerned. But people tell you that, well, there's so much money in kidnapping. And that's why a lot of youths are actually going into this business. Exactly, because it brings so much money. You hold a loved one ransom who you do not want the individual to die, so you have to go all out to get the money, and it's just unfortunate. This is what it is now. So hopefully things will get better with the curb of this menace in our society, because it is a menace and it will go away whether it likes it or not with all of this. And that is why I would never stop talking about the intervention of the Americans coming into Nigeria to straighten things up a bit, to put everybody on their tippy toes, for everyone to know that, hey, if you do not, we will intervene on this matter, and you know it will cost us a lot if they do. So hopefully this will be, and of course, once you are caught as a terrorist, it's, there's a different sanction, because we're not taking it very seriously now. Then we were like a decical, because individuals who are on point on this, because it didn't affect them directly. So, okay, whatever you do, but now that it's serious, the sanction on it is serious.
Death penalty is the move that we're making out.
I didn't want to say it out loud, but the thing is, it's something that is very serious. So, of course, we know that with time, we will nip this in the bud, by God's grace.
All right, let's take a look at the Star headline for you. It says, tax laws face legitimacy crisis, of course. Now we're hearing, coming from federal lawmakers themselves, that the version or the copy of the tax laws that had been passed by them supposedly signed by the president is different from what is out there as the gazetted copy. That has now necessitated very, very severe calls coming from former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, as well as the Nigerian Bar Association, to say that even though the implementation of that tax law or those tax laws ought to have started by 1st of January, it should be stepped down until these discrepancies being alleged are addressed. But let's make progress real quick. A couple of more headlines to look at. One with a kicker here: PDP crisis. INEC rejects Turaki-led NWC. Just when you think the PDP crisis is over, then there's another strand of trouble coming.
Exactly.
And then you're asking, will this ever end?
Will this ever end? Please, PDP, put your house in order. We're tired.
I think the blocks to put the house in order are just not enough.
Oh God, wait, please. I don't put me on the spot. But the truth is, things keep erupting, and individuals who are supposed to hold the party together are leaving. So what will be left of the People's Democratic Party? It's just sad that all of this, and yet you want to come out and rule Nigeria, and you do not have this all in check. It's a very serious issue, and it's affecting a lot of individuals who actually, there are individuals, whatever happens to PDP, they are there. That's the party.
They're there.
They are there. Go, let it sink.
Their umbilical cord is tied to it.
I don't want to put it that way, but the truth is, but really, this is a very serious issue. You do not have unity amongst yourselves, and people are looking at you, and other parties are watching and say, okay, this is what you want. And of course, elections are around the corner, and a lot of people, like, the defection is massive. Individuals who can hold it, but that means, is there hope for the PDP? That's with a big question mark. With all of these evolving day after day, like, seriously, it's worrisome and it's a cause for concern. So is there hope for the People Democratic Party? I don't know. Maybe they might surprise us. Maybe this is just a strategy. I don't know. But let's hope and see. Elect
you can't be so sure with politicians.
Exactly. You cannot be so sure with politicians. But hopefully, let us see how well this plays out.
All right. While we're waiting, we'll take a look at 3 more headlines for you. At the very bottom left says, National Assembly passes 48.32 trillion naira revised 2024 5 budget. We understand now that the legislature has now approved for the budget to implementation to be extended till March, which means the fiscal year 2025 will run for another 3 months. And experts in the field of development economics say that is dangerous for a country like Nigeria, because ultimately you're going to be implementing 2 budgets side by side. Well, we've been here before. Let's look at a few more for you. 12 killed in Plateau Kogi auto crashes. Yesterday, somebody was just asking, must people travel during Yuletide? Obviously, the person was looking at a story that had to do with road crashes, people losing their lives, apparently because they're traveling during this Yuletide period. So, Juma, I'm asking, must people travel this period?
Yeah, they must, because that's the time that people actually bond and meet family and friends. There are individuals who have not seen their parents for...
In years?
Not even years, 11 months. They do not travel because they have to work, they have to save. That's the time where some individuals in diaspora, they come home and they actually bond with family, loved ones and friends. That's the time to, like you said, the festivity is a time for family to come together. It's a time that people actually settle, family discuss. Like, people talk about, okay, what's going on with the family land? Let's come. This is the only time that we have because it's like a vacation. It is. But when you look at the cost of it, it's really sad. The motor accidents. You saw what happened in the Abuja-Lokoja road. People were there for 5 days. It was deadlocked because of the construction. Ongoing. It's sad, but at the same time, people will put their heads there because they have to be with loved ones and friends, and it's a time. And people get married during this time because they meet their Mr. Right or Mrs. Right and all of that. But people, it's a norm. We say we don't have money, but check the roads. People are traveling on a daily. And buying stuff. Yeah.
Well, one more, and then we're done with Daily Trust newspaper for you this morning. Terrorists using POS machines for ransom collections. Those are disturbing details you find on page 6 of the Daily Trust. The question is, can we not track the records behind those?
Exactly.
There's a process, there's a procedure for obtaining, or if you like, acquiring a POS terminal. So
True.
if that's the case, it may be smarter than this, right?
Very true, very true. I completely agree with you, Uyi, because it's just a
It is smarter than this, right?
very true, very true. I completely agree with you, Uyi, because it's just unfortunate that you tell you it's a POS transaction, nothing can be done. Something can be done.
And
if you put your mind
that's
to it.
shameful to say.
It's very shameful. Then, of course, if nothing can be done, then it should be banned as far as I'm concerned. Because the truth is,
Right.
a lot of criminals are getting away with all of this. Like, there was a time that my sister's phone was snatched from her hand. We were in the car, and she came in, and the next thing you know, the guy cleared her account, and there was no way you could trace that account. And a lot has happened. And this, we're talking about a lot of monies now that individuals have fallen into this same category.
Right.
And then they tell you it's POS and it's not traceable. If it's not traceable, then there is a vacuum, that there is something that is wrong.
That must be addressed.
That must be addressed in that process. So I think point of sale, for as much as it helps you and I, because I can't remember when I went to the automated
terminal.
motive machine. I cannot remember, although at a cost, because you know you have to pay for every
the service.
But at the same time, I think it needs to be tracked. I think there's a lot that needs to be done. That vacuum of I cannot trace the account because it's from POS. We do not know. No, that is a problem. That's
Right.
part of that is this. Once you trace that POS, it's part of issues of curbing insecurity in Nigeria. Because once the criminals know that okay, I can be tracked, or
Right.
the person whom I'm sending money to can bring me out and we will be found. I think it will nip insecurity in the bud when it comes to transfer, ransoms, and all of these things encompass. So
Right.
I think there's a lot that needs to be done.
Sure. Let's optimize BVN, NIN, facial recognition,
Very important.
all of the biometrics elements, all right, and get at least 2 steps ahead of these criminals.
Exactly.
All right, so those are your headlines from Daily Trust today, everyone. Take a look at the details for yourself so you can stay ahead of the news. Let's turn now to the Punch newspaper, and Jumai has those headlines.
All right, now the Punch newspaper, above the nameplate of the Punch, it says 2027 Turaki camp fumes as INEC rejects PDP ESCO. And that you will find on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Now, next it says MBA, Atiku demand new tax law suspension. And that read is on page 30 of the Punch. And of course, Yuletide rush. FG orders contractors to keep highways open. And that's on page 9. And beside the nameplate of the Punch newspaper, it says, Wike promised to hold PDP for Tinubu, Makinde alleges. And that is on page 30. Now, the star story on the Punch newspaper, it says, budget crisis, NAS extends 2025 fiscal year to March. And that read you will find on page 2. And the rider below that says, Senate reps pass reversed 91.8 trillion naira 2024-2025 budget, 2026 appropriation bill passes second reading. And below that on page 7, it says FG orders takedown of terrorist social media accounts. I think that's a step in the right direction.
is.
Yes, let's not give them that that audience in which they need, in which they use to perform all of it. Should be put down. We don't want to say we're tired. I think we're actually, when we do all of that, by leaving that account open, we're actually promoting what they do, giving them
Creating
that edge.
unnecessary visibility for them.
Unnecessary visibility, which I don't think it's deserved.
Right.
So I think that is a step in the right direction if we really want to curb this menace. And here it says, here on the Punch newspaper, on page 7, measles death toll hits 153 in 11 months. And that's on page 11. That is worrisome. Ekiti domesticates Nigeria Tax Administration. This tax administration is something that we should take seriously.
It's tough.
It's serious. It's really, really serious. I think Nigerians, we need more awareness because Nigerians should take it. It's something, it's really serious. 2026 for individuals who do not have personal income tax, get ready. If you do not have your TIN, get ready because really you cannot do anything without that. Like for us who are in the broadcast medium, when it comes to being a media consultant and company, you will need all of these things. So please go out and get it.
You need your TIN for you as an individual.
As an individual. Well, exactly. And it says here, Pabio mom's police escort killed by tanker. Unfortunate. These tanker drivers, some of them are so... Sometimes they are intoxicated when it comes to alcohol and all of that, and drugs, substance, because they want to stay awake. And I think they should use the time of, you cannot go on the road at a particular time to
Create
rest.
a time window and establish a restriction.
Exactly. And actually, they should use that time to rest, have enough sleep. Then you do not have to take substance and all of that to keep yourself awake.
I'll tell you something real quick.
Tell me.
I mean, I've been here for a while, right? So I know how that when I was a small boy growing up, around primary school age, tanker drivers were elderly people. I mean, they were elderly. My dad had a friend who was not necessarily a tanker driver. He was a truck driver, this long heavy-duty truck, right? So he would drive from Sokoto to Benin to Lagos, sometimes even beyond the borders and stuff like that. All right? My dad used to call him Alaji, by the way. Now, the thing is, I looked at him, I looked at other truck drivers. They were elderly guys, not necessarily gray-haired, not necessarily in their 70s, but they were mature. They were elderly. You could tell they were experienced. You could tell it's something they had done for a long time.
Of course, yeah.
Conversely, the last few years, my observation has been that consistently you see young boys behind steering wheels of heavy-duty trucks. They are shouting, they are honking unnecessarily.
Exactly.
They are raging, they are wild. You wonder what's going on.
Trying to overtake.
Right.
What's
going on?
Really?
So how did we achieve? I mean, how did we get to that point where there has been this radical shift from what it used to be? Because I think the philosophy or the belief is that the older you are, the more you're likely going to appreciate the value of life.
Exactly.
But young people are very risk-friendly, so to speak.
Yeah, they are.
So they are going to be more spontaneous.
No value.
So they would rather want to be a bit more adventurous, that sort of thing. But the elderly guy, the older
at the
guy,
detriment of their lives.
their lives and the lives of others. They hear things like, well, these people were standing, minding their business by the roadside, and these guys just came and cleared them. Because like you said, in most cases, these tanker drivers or these truck drivers, they are on substances.
Yes, they are.
All right, so
yes, they are.
They are really not there. They've lost presence of mind.
Exactly.
All right, they're disconnected from reality, yet they are behind a steering wheel on the road.
That is a cause of concern. And most of truck drivers, have you ever, this is where NDLEA should come in. It's not all about individuals or high profile. These truck drivers are cause of concern in our society. I know it might not, most drivers on the road, transporters, they need to be tested.
Right.
You'll be shocked, Uyi. Back in the day when I used to travel by road, someone, he's drinking and he's driving and he's cool with it. Are you kidding me? And they feel nothing's going to happen.
It's normalized.
It's normal. And you know that, I don't want to say the negative. We're going into 2026. We have good roads by God's grace. We have bad roads here. And you can imagine
You
all
still
the
said it.
But it's the truth. It's the truth. We have bad roads, the gallops, the potholes.
Right.
And you just go in there and anything can happen. You can either somersault, you can go into the ditch.
Right.
You can just wipe out a generation in a twinkle of an eye. So for most of these individuals, they're intoxicated, high on substance. And the young guys behind, like yesterday I was going home, the hold up on that road leading to the axis, where I don't want to mention the axis, right. There was serious hold up there. And I was
this was after work.
This was after work. This was like past almost past 9. I was going home from the office. And then the tanker driver behind me, I just had to pray for me to go in front of him. And he was behind. I was like, God, please. Like, seriously, a lot needs to be done. They need to be tested. And of course, that window of this is the particular time you should, I think they should use that avenue wisely.
There was something that happened a while ago, I think a few years ago. Sometimes it's not just about the measures being introduced. It's also about how we follow through. Follow through is always lacking. So there was this order that no motor parks or terminals should sell alcoholic beverage. All right,
it's not going to work.
I'm not going to be the one to tell you that the reverse has been the case the entire time.
It's not going to work, especially when they said they were going to ban the sachet. Of course, that
has been suspended.
But you know how it is. Of course, they're going to sneak that stuff in. Of course, that's what they take. So a lot needs to be done. Like I always say, well, we're going to implement something. We need individuals to actually monitor, to take it, to actually follow through with it. Once you have individuals who follow through, who comply, they will be people will definitely comply with all of this. But because we're lackadaisical, once there is a law, we just label, okay, I've passed the law. But
I said the law is supposed to implement
itself. And no, it's not. We need to follow through. We need to follow through till the end so that individuals can follow suit. And really, once we start these little things that we think that is so big, once we start following through when it comes to, let's start with that first, and you'll see how gradually sanity will come back into the society. But it is what it is, and hopefully things will get better. All right, let's move on now. Let's not drag. Still on the Punch newspaper. And here it says, noun student collapses during test, dies. And that's on page 4 and 5. Unfortunate incident there, very sad. And on page 7, it says here, court seizes land linked to Goodluck Jonathan estate. And that's on page 7. And of course, to be well abreast with some of the issues making round, you have to go out and get yourself the Punch newspaper to be, informed on most of these issues. Next, let's flip to the Nigerian Tribune.
All right, thank you, Joy. We begin with the star headline for you. It says, destruction of PDP dangerous for Nigeria's democracy. That's credited to your state governor, Seyi Makinde, who yesterday delivered what some persons now call a blockbuster media chat. It has become a basis for conversation across media platforms the last 24 hours or so. We'll touch on some of those issues in the course of our discussion this morning. But here we have a few writers, about 2, 3. Says, Wike at a meeting promised Tinubu he would hold PDP for him. I regret backing him in 2023. Adelabu doesn't have capacity to organize or your APC for president.
Okay.
Juma, you're sounding like you have capacity.
No comment. Don't put me on the spot, please.
No, we want to test your capacity.
No, please.
All right, let's see a couple of more headlines. Left corner of the front page, Nigerian Tribune. Nigeria falls short of oil revenue targets in first half of 2025 budget office reports. Wujale's tool, Kwam1 withdraws suit to stop process. All right, 2026 budgets, senators insist on implementation. Rider tells us as 58.47 trillion naira appropriation bill scales second reading. You can look up those details on page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune. Ekiti takes the lead, domesticates Nigeria Tax Administration Act. Oyebamji signs Ekiti State Revenue Administration Law 415.57 trillion naira 2026 budgets. All right. NIN becomes automatic tax ID for Nigerians. A CAC number emerges official identifier for businesses. Juma, I can tell you for free that you will see, beginning from first week 2026, how small business owners will be falling over themselves to get formalized. Because most of these businesses, a good number of them are not yet, they've not done the paperwork for registration. So even when they have a name, those names are not recognized by government, as it were. We saw what happened this year on a number of occasions where the CAC came out very hard on POS operators, saying that, look, you either register or you leave the space. We must know people who own and hold POS terminals.
So hold them accountable.
Right. So Juma can't come to tell us that there's an issue with with the POS operator, and we tell her we can't find the person. The person is off the radar just because we don't have their information. We've got to have you registered or you do not do business.
Very important. Yes, and that, for me, that was a step in the right direction. But did it follow through?
Enforcement is always a challenge.
That's what I'm talking about. Enforcement is always a challenge, especially when we do not have a monitoring committee.
One that is effective.
Exactly, to follow through with it. So it's very well. Let's see how it goes. 2026. has a lot. And
Right.
of course, like you said, let's just see how well this is. We're trying to make this we're trying to formalize this as much as we can. So let's just see how it works through in the books, and hope it's for the greater good.
It
right?
is, ultimately.
It is for the greater good.
All right, 3 more headlines above the nameplate of the Nigerian Tribune this morning for you. Top right with a picture of the leader of one of the embattled factions of the PDP, talking about Turaki SAN. It says, INEC rejects Turaki's faction's request for recognition, cites pending lawsuits. All right. Tax Reforms Act, NBA calls for suspension probe. 2 Rivers PDP senators, 6 reps defect to APC. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, read their defection letters yesterday on the floor of the House. As always, it also came with a bit of drama. Well, and that's a story for another time. All right, so read out those details for yourself from the Nigerian Tribune to this issue of it. But let's now turn to the First Daily newspaper. That's our next port of call.
All right, now, our First Daily paper, and it says here, beside the nameplate, it says, Rivers, PDP in free fall as 2 senators defect to APC ahead of 2027. Now, below the nameplate, there it says, no bank account freeze in 2026. Oyedele debunks viral claims. And next, we have FG World Bank launch $500 million push to fix education, healthcare. Okay. Now, the star story on First Daily says tax reform row. NBA demands probe, seeks suspension of new laws. Now, below all of that, it says IDP crisis worsens as Yobe Benue lead displacement index NHRC. Tragedy on Just Bauchi Road, 10 killed in down crash. Very sad story there. And it says Lagos waste economy worth $2.5 billion, lawman boss reveals. ICPC to federal MDA met full ethics standards in 2025. Now, the foot of the First Daily newspaper says Iwobi bags to assist as Eagles win AFCON opener. Now, that's something to smile about. Of course, I'm a Nigerian fan when it comes to our sports. I support our Super Eagles. I support the women football. Of course, you know, I will always have to support the women. I'm a woman, so hey, don't hold me accountable for it.
Supporting women, right?
Women supporting women, of course, and it's Wednesday again, so women supporting women, but all the same, all the same. Let's flip to the Nigerian News Direct, and we will run us through that.
All right, that will start again from the top headlines. The ones about the nameplate. Top left corner. Shippers Council approves tariff increase for shipping lines. Set to probe TTP's Eto call-up charges. 6 Rivers lawmakers dump PDP defect to APC. All right. What's more, the star headline for us says, I will not support Tinubu in 2027. Makinde declares. That's quite specific. Says he is content being in the opposition. You have plans to leave PDP after 2027. Wike's aide tackles Makinde. Well, it's your word against his. The man says he's not leaving. You say he has plans to leave. Well, I'm sure there's a way you gentlemen can slug that out. All right. Senate passes 58.47 trillion naira 2026 budget for second reading. Governor Fintri pardons death row inmates, Sunday Jackson, others following PFN youth advocacy. Those details, especially this very relieving one, you can find it on page 15 of the Nigerian News Direct. Those are the headlines for you from that paper. Let's now move to the next one. I'm sure it's This Day newspaper.
Yes, it is. Now, This Day newspaper, now above the nameplate, it says, Senate hails Tinubu's 58.47 trillion naira 2026 appropriation bill, backs infrastructure security push. And the rider reads, passes 43.5 trillion naira 2024, 2025 reworked budget extends 2025 appropriation to March 2026. And of course, that read you will find on page 9. Now, below the nameplate, it says Ekiti takes the lead, domesticates Nigeria tax administration. And that you will find on page 6. Now, below that, it says fresh trouble for PDP as INEC rejects new national officers, cites court ruling. And the writer reads, reference multiple court order, party reacts, insists there's no fraction, accuse electoral body of bias, and that you will find on page 9. Now, here on the Star Story of this day, it says Makinde, Wike promising to hold down PDP for Tinubu sparked our disagreement. And then one of the writers says he rejects supporting president in 2023. And the second writer says, but will not be supporting him for 2027. Controversy, you will say. Okay. And that story you will find on page 9. Now, annual distribution of food items to Christian North for Christmas and New Year celebrations, okay? And basically that is all on this day newspaper. Next is the Daily Monitor.
Incidentally, that will be our last paper for you this morning. But let's see what we got right there, everyone. Well, from the top here, it says NIN CAC numbers to become tax IDs from January 2026. That's from the Federal Inland Revenue Service, which starting from January 1, all else equal, will now become the Nigerian Revenue Service. All right, Defense Headquarters launches Operation Ember Guard in Southwest. And then this one here says, there is no distinction between mass kidnapping, terrorism, NCTC boss. Federal government partners World Bank on $500 million program to strengthen education health. Those details await you on page 2. Yuletide, Umahi warns against closure of federal roads without approval. Yes, we cannot do that arbitrarily. Back in time, you see people just block the road because they have a social event, some social gathering or something.
Like seriously.
And they tell you, well, it's our streets.
That stuff baffles me all the time. Like, are you kidding me?
It's our street. We own a house on this street.
Exactly. It's our street, so I can just put a canopy and you guys go.
Chairs all over the place, musicians on the road, and party begins.
Exactly. And Lagos is really fond of that, especially these Owambe. Really like partying a lot. And of course, this festivity, you're going to see a lot of that. And that's why most individuals love to travel back home, because that's where you see, quote unquote, their crazy uncles, crazy individuals who do not tolerate and put just chairs on the road and hey, oh yeah, take another direction. We're here to party.
Right.
You just wonder.
It's interesting, but we must also keep in mind the safety of other people.
Exactly.
They say where your right stops, that's where someone else's right begins.
Exactly.
So we need to factor in all of those elements. All right. What more do we have this morning for you from the Daily Monitor? Here it says, why federal government should suspend implementation of new tax laws. That headline is credited to Atiku and the Nigerian Bar Association, with the headline coming with 2 riders. EFCC should investigate, prosecute those found culpable in the illegal alteration of the new tax laws. All right. NBA seeks comprehensive, transparent probe to clarify circumstances surrounding the new tax laws. 2025 scorecard, 357 MDAs, that is ministries, departments, and agencies, failed ethics, integrity, compliance. 13 declared higher risk, says ICPC. Plus, ICPC is also telling us in one of the papers this morning that at least 40 of these MDAs did not remit their internally generated revenue. And you wonder what could have resulted in such a situation. Well, it's the more reason you should read up papers for yourself. Urges MDAs to improve their systems and structures to prevent corruption. Hopefully that urge will not fall on deaf ears. All right, those are your papers this morning. As always, we'd like to remind you that the headlines we bring to you here are exactly as published by their respective publishers. Global Television, as media outfits, or the team here on Global Morning, does not in any way contribute to them. Very true. We'll take a quick break now. When we return, the rest of the program will come your way. Just stay with us.
is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Very good evening and welcome to another exciting edition of Big Talk. Tonight on the program,
As always, it's a pleasure to have you join us here on Global Morning. I am Uyi Alpo.
You know how we do it on Social Post Extra, bringing you all the...
On the desk this evening, we have very topical issues to discuss, and of course,
welcome to your parliamentary program, The Parliament.
Peaceful and joyful home doesn't happen by chance. It is built on...
Women can rise beyond traditional boundaries to claim their rightful place as
numerous committee, about more than 12 committees.
Festival is a program that comes to you once in a week at about this time where we look into issues and discuss them. It gives you the opportunity to
World news in United
Welcome
Nigeria.
to Entertainment Circle. And trust me, today you're about to get entertained.
Hello everyone and welcome to the program Talk Sports here on Global Television.
One of Zone is that platform where we bring young and talented artists.
Stay tuned, stay inspired, stay with Global Television on DSTV channel 365, on Star Times channel 276.
Part of the things we've also seen this year is seeing government taking some measures that before now didn't look very easy or even, well, immediately possible. Just a few days ago, the government has now said, look, if you're coming into the civil service, you must, well, operative word, must be tested for drugs. And they say this is important for several reasons, including ethical factors, but that has not always been the case, even for those going into the military or the police and other paramilitary agencies. But today, that is fast changing because we're seeing the rot that has been caused by abuse of drugs across the board. Young people now using drugs like is candy. And speaking of candy, by the way, we're also seeing drug-laden candy.
Yes, we
Jumai.
have.
You have a sweet tooth. I don't want to imagine you having a stick of candy with, that is laced with drugs.
No, you know, before we go into that, God forbid, they shouldn't even try that. I was upset with that Indian woman that had to, there was a time we were on Global Morning and she actually inserted drugs in a candy. And I said, chocolates, by the way.
Right.
You know, I love chocolates. And I was like, all the things you saw in this world, you have to put in
You have to pick chocolates.
Why? Like, seriously.
And she has not responded to your question.
Yes, she responded. But I'm sure the NDLEA are dealing with her for that issue. But at the same time, it's just unfortunate that's what it is now. And drugs are now imputed in candy, serving as candy, but in real sense, they're drugs to actually ensure that individuals are high in sight. Most people, that's the only way they can function. If they do not indulge in drugs and substance abuse, they cannot function. Just like what we mentioned about the tanker drivers and all of that. And it's now a menace in our society now because young individuals, they rely on it as a guise and tell you, there's no employment. That's the only way we can function. We can keep our head abreast. But for the fact that you said individuals who are working now should be tested for drugs and substance, I think it's a step in the right direction because someone who wears a suit and tie, you'll be shocked at what the person is doing behind closed doors.
Right.
I had a friend who told me something and said,
so don't judge a book by the cover.
Don't ever judge a book by its cover. You don't know what, God forbid, not Mr. Uyi. I don't want to say that. Okay. I don't want to say that. But at the same time, the truth is, you'll be surprised someone with his suit and tie has taken something in the morning. There was a particular colleague of ours that I don't want to say it on national TV. And I always say, did you drink something? I say, no, but you could just perceive that stuff. Like, it's early in the day. What's wrong with you?
And that feeling never lied.
What are you saying? How can it? Where you can actually perceive it? I was like, hey, hello, it's early in the morning. What's up with you? He said, that's the only way I can function, please. Right. And you see that a lot, but that's not the only way. I said, like I tell people, COVID-19, I think it took a reset on so many individuals because you'll be surprised at things that you say to yourself that I cannot do without. You had to do without, and you were free to do without it. But this is a menace, drugs and substance abuse, and it has destroyed a lot of prominent individuals.
Young people who otherwise are promising today are drug dependent. Like Jumai said, they can't function without it. And then you realize that every other Sunday, the NDLEA is releasing stories about people who have been busted, discoveries that have been made. You hear about the volume of drugs. So one day is tramadol, the next day is meth. Cocaine. All kinds. Some you've never heard. You hear loud. You hear Canada.
Cannabis, tramadol.
Different kinds. And sometimes they tell you, well, the street value of this one we just discovered is 2 billion. The street value of this one is 20 billion. You're wondering for drugs.
And you know what? It's alarming. It's alarming. And sometimes when these individuals, I did a program back in the day on radio. I talked about drugs and substance. I had like a 1 hour where a psychologist would come in and talk. Clinical psychologist and a psychologist will come and talk about drugs and substance and says because individuals are complaining that there is no money to afford these drugs, they go into other measures, they go into the sewage and they sniff that, they turn cough mixtures, they take excess of it just to keep themselves high up there, and you'll be surprised what these drugs and substance can do. So it's just unfortunate that people hide behind that marks of unemployment, not gainfully employed, or
being depressed.
Life
has happened to
me. A
lot is going through me.
And then the mental state and all of that, and you just wonder that is the marks behind drugs and substance abuse a lot. And for individuals, that's the fastest route out of Nigeria, by the way. Some people actually ingest these drugs and substance to other countries in order for taking risk. People take risk. You inject all of that, and God forbid anything happens.
Oh, sorry. Now, this is not in any way to
scare you,
make light of people who genuinely, honestly, are dealing with mental health cases.
Yes,
but quite
please.
frankly, we can't solve one problem by creating another problem.
True.
At best, what you're going to achieve with that is complicate an already bad situation. That's what it is. If you're dealing with a mental health issue, the ideal thing is to talk to an expert, talk to people who care about you, get as much help as possible, psychosocial support, what have you. But to turn to drugs is the last option you want to look at, quite frankly.
Please.
All right, let's take a quick break now. Everyone, when we return, we'll put our first conversation on the road for you. Do stay with us.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Very good evening and welcome to another exciting edition of Big Talk. Tonight on the program,
as always, it's a pleasure to have you join us here on Global Morning. I am Uyi Alpo.
You know how we do it on Teacher Post Extra, bringing you all the...
On the desk this evening, we have very topical issues to discuss, and of course...
Welcome to your parliamentary program, The Parliament.
Peaceful and joyful home doesn't happen by chance. It is built on... Men can rise beyond traditional boundaries to claim their rightful place as...
Numerous committee, about more than 12 committees.
Face the Face, a program that comes to you once in a week at about this time where we look into issues and discuss them. It gives you the opportunity to...
Rural leaders in United
Welcome
Nigeria.
to Entertainment Circle. And trust me, today you're about to get entertained.
Hello everyone and welcome to the program Talk Sports here on Global Television.
One of Zone is that platform where we bring young and talented artists.
Stay tuned, stay inspired, stay with Global Television on DSTV channel 365, on Star Times channel 276.
Like we mentioned at the top of the show this morning, as the year gradually winds down, we're going to be taking a look at some of the big events that have shaped 2025 for Nigeria and indeed Nigerians. One of them being insecurity, because that again in itself has redefined how we approach challenges in our dear country, and we've seen some moves being made, already made by the Tinubu-led administration in this regard. We're seeing change of guard in terms of leadership within the defense and military space. We're seeing more investment being made as well in that area. Plus, we have also seen some sort of tough decisions taken, including the withdrawal of police attached to VIPs. To help us find sense in this and more, on the show this morning, we have Toba Owojaye, who is a public affairs analyst. Toba, Merry Christmas to you, first of all.
Thank you, my brother, and Merry Christmas to everyone.
Hi, Mr. Toba. Good morning. Compliments of the season.
Good morning, boss lady. How are you doing?
I am good. Very well, thank you.
All right, so let's get this on the road real quick, Toba. At the start of the year, insecurity, as was with the previous years, had become very challenging, complex, complicated, and it was almost becoming hopeless. But we saw what happened once the United States government, quote unquote, intervened, talked about how that we needed to raise our game, do more with how we protect lives and property, and what have you. We're also not naive about the moves already made by the Tinubu administration in terms of ensuring that these criminals don't continue this very demonic, if you like, enterprise. What has been your assessment of this development regarding insecurity in Nigeria?
Yeah, I'll say it's a very, very, very big move. It took a lot of politicking, it took a lot of meandering to get us to a better security architecture. It is still not good. It is still not good enough, but we are beginning to see the progress we expected. You see, the president had a minister of the defense who was a former governor of Gawa, and the Minister of State was a former governor of Zamfara. And those two people were not easy to shake off, though they did not have enough experience. They had never served in any military setting. Matawale was a teacher almost all his life. So it took the president putting up a big scheme to retire all the generals, wait for another 5-6 weeks. And we saw that things got really worse. Only for him to now bring back one of them, General Musa, to now become the Minister of Defense. So instead of him reporting to Matawale first, before reporting to Badaru, before reporting to NSA, before ever getting to the president, he has jumped 2 steps. And if he has a policy that he doesn't believe in negotiating with bandits, and the people higher up than him wanted negotiation with bandits, and the guy says, this is my military experience. And so it's paying off. We saw last week, we saw where yesterday a police officer was arrested for selling guns and ammunition to bandits. And 2 weeks ago, another one claimed his own life because he was arrested on the same thing. So what we are saying is that these people have been having a free way, going into our stores, picking up guns, picking up things, and selling them to bandits. First of all, you are depleting what we have. And worse off, you are empowering the people that we should be defeating. So we are seeing a close-up of ranks in those places, and it's a good sign. I don't want to address this from a Trump level, though I know that the pressure from him is also on the president to make some vital changes. So things are getting better. We want to see this pressure maintained, and also we have now made it's really criminal. More groups have been clearly named as terror groups now. This is not just lip singing. This is a very major breakthrough that we cannot keep calling these people bandits. I had an experience with a young man. I don't think I can say every part of it on air, but he was kidnapped, and he said when his family couldn't raise the money, the people who kidnapped him began to make calls for his body parts. His family couldn't pay 4 million, and in his presence, they pre-sold all his body organs for more than 15 million in his presence. But somehow God saved his life. So these are not people we should play with. These are not matters we should play with. We need to fight it, and God bless the president, God bless Nigeria, God bless General Musa, and all the people working, and the soldiers, everyone, everywhere. We should back them up, and we should keep praying for the best.
All right, Toba, I want to ask a question. I know you said you don't want to talk about the Trump issue coming in to intervene in the matters of terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, adoption in Nigeria. But if you look at it clearly, it is a blessing in disguise, won't you say? And if we're up our game when it comes to nipping this in the bud, when it comes to governors, when it comes to individuals taking this seriously, do you think we would have gone a long way in curbing this menace in our society when it has to do with insecurity, terrorism, so and so forth?
I love Trump for one thing. Trump has a way of, Trump can accomplish in 3 months what it takes others to accomplish in 2 years or 5 years. He has served for less than 1 year, and look at how much he has done. Because he doesn't beat around the bush. He goes thoughtful. The way he speaks is annoying to most. When he goes directly for what he believes is the root cause or a political way to draw you. Let me give an instance first before I come to our Nigerian situation. He wanted the Arabian countries to develop Gaza, and they were not showing any interest for over 30 years. So he now made a declaration that I will take over Gaza and annex it. Immediately, the Arabian countries said, no, you will not take over Gaza. We will do it. So it was a mind game. He was never planning to take over Gaza. He just wanted the people who should have done it to act upon it. So I don't think that Trump really planned to come and bomb people in Nigeria. He just wanted to push all the agencies and factors, the religious drama that keeps us where we are, the political drama that keeps us where we are, while people are dying in their tens of thousands every month. He had to stop that, and I thank him for that. And whatever means, mind game, or whatever he has done, has so far worked out. What we need to see more is exposure of the sponsors of these people. I keep hearing that they give the list to the government. Don't give the list to the government. We are in a social media age. Post the list for us on Twitter of all the people that are sponsoring terrorism and their bankers and their bank accounts. Post it for us. People like Sowore and others will take it up from there. And if you can't deal with the sponsors, then you have not dealt with anybody. These are the matters. So I praise him for that, and I believe that though it came up with a strong religious template that always gives us issues in Nigeria, but what he said was not a lie. But also Christians are dying, also Muslims are dying. That I have to say at this point.
You know what, Toba, let me take you back a bit. I know we spoke about the defense minister, another person than General Christopher Musa coming into the picture now, and not actually, he's not going to, something you said, he's not going to give any reportorial to other ministers. He's going straight to the president and all of that. But do you think when he said not negotiating with bandits is a step in the right direction when it comes to curbing this menace in society? Because for other defense ministers, they feel that is the right way to go. When you sit down on a round table and we talk about it like human beings and just going to enforce freedom. Do you think that's the right way to go in actually solving this issue when it comes to adoptions, when it comes to terrorism in Nigeria? They feel they want to be heard also, even if they're not doing the right thing. According to Ihuyi, it's a demonic situation. But do you think it is the right way to go in solving and wiping out terrorism in Nigeria?
Like I said, these people are just foot soldiers. They are the people behind the people. They are people in front of the people that's behind all of this. The real people are sitting in mansions very far from where the action is taking. So negotiating with the people you see on the road has no bearing. Those ones are just foot soldiers. When they kidnap you, they don't get anything. They kidnap somebody, they don't get anything much, so that they come back the next week, so that they live on it as a means of living. They never give the actual kidnappers enough. The real people are behind stage who do the negotiating, who does the collecting the millions. So this keeps on going. How long will you negotiate with somebody who is not a stakeholder in this matter? People are killing people. We've seen it happen 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 10 years down the line. You need the foot soldiers to be afraid for their own lives, because the real people will not come out. And you cannot negotiate with foot soldiers. What you do is eliminate them. Once they come back for a meeting next week, and out of 200, 80 are dead. The remaining 20 go and look for a normal life. Most of them were cattle rearers before. Making even the cattle, they don't own it. They just move around with other people's cattle. And like I said, some of these people are not even Nigerians. Most of them, people who have met them and talked with them, most of them are not Nigerians. So how do you flush these people out? How do you negotiate these people out of this country back? No. You have to make sure that they have a very stark meeting with reality. They have to look reality in the face and see that this is not going to work. If I continue in this line of business, I will be dead in 2 weeks. Once that dawns on them, then we are free. But if this is a lucrative business that they can go and bring their brothers from Mali, from other countries to come and join it and cause more mayhem, then we're in trouble. Negotiating won't solve that.
Let's talk about these people, these powerful people, because that was the term that Dr. Dele Alake, Minister of Solid Mineral Resources, once used when he addressed federal lawmakers. He said there are powerful Nigerians behind illegal mining. And you and I know, Toba, that time and again, consistently so, illegal mining has been linked with terrorism in Nigeria, especially banditry, which the government now says is categorically terrorism. But let's talk about these powerful individuals. Also look at the willpower. One would have thought that with this United States element in this conversation, by now the authorities would have been doing some sort of naming and shaming, some sort of prosecution or arrest would have been going on and things like that. Am I overthinking it, or am I just being unrealistically expectant?
Yeah, you see that there are two, like I said, there's the Christian genocide part of this drama, there's the mining part of it. And in my opinion, both are taking place at the same time. This is what I see. I see America trying to compete with China on the global dominance of the world, and seeing that China is getting things, able to put their product out like 5 times cheaper than what USA is doing. So America wants to go to the root of it. And they've seen that China is using slaves and prisoners more, not slaves, for most of their labor. And they're getting minerals from somewhere for almost free. And when they trace it down the line, it seems that most of that mineral is coming from Nigeria, from mining sites, illegal and legal. And they're being flown out of this country. If America leaves that situation like that, they will never be able to compete with China. So America is willing to join us to stop that illegal mining that is heading straight to their opposition. So there is that element. But if it's the people that are making money off the mining, I believe if they follow the dollar trail, they will be able to find them. And it's sad. You see, there was a time in which Matawale was governor, and Wike was also governor then. So this should be like 6 years ago or less, 5 years ago. Matawale brought $9 billion naira worth of gold to the table, did a press conference, and showed that there was gold in Zamfara of commercial quantity. And the next day, Wike said, so our oil in rivers is national treasure that we must all share. But your gold in Zamfara cannot be shared as a national treasure. After that, we never saw any gold from Zamfara again. These are the issues giving us problem in this country, where a certain region decides that instead of us to develop what we have, we don't want to share it with the nation, we don't want to share it with anybody. So we will keep it as an illegal mining. We will keep it as we, a few hands, accessing this wealth, packing it at the expense of the community, chasing away the community from their homes, and mining in that place, and using terrorists as guards in the name of bandits in that area. This cannot go on forever. What we are saying is the military needs to go there. The president has put a ban on mining for now. They need to go there and chase away every miner for now. This is my opinion. And chase away every terrorist forming as bandits in that place. When we clear that, then get companies big companies who will do legal mining, who will pay taxes, and that resource will be shared and will become a part of our federal allocation. This is the only way forward. Once it is an illegal business that 10 people make the money and 20,000 people die, then we have made no progress. The greed in human beings will always pander to this, and this must be solved.
Let me ask this before Jumai dives right in. You mentioned China and the United States in your narrative a while ago. Are you concerned that with this sort of back and forth, this kind of, if you like, supremacy battle, Nigeria could just become, if you like, a pawn, the way you have with Ukraine and Russia, because people across the world generally believe that the war is not between Russia and Ukraine, it is between Russia and the United States. Is that your sentiment?
Yes, I agree. And ours is even worse because France has come into the fray. So Nigeria is the pot in which three big nations are trying to cook different dishes at the same time. France wants Nigeria as its new ally. From the body language of the president, I'm not seeing him completely averse to it. And a lot has happened of recent that shows that France is interested in Nigeria, America is interested in Nigeria, China is interested in Nigeria, and where two elephants fight, the grass suffers. So we can either suffer from this or benefit from this, depending on our leaders and their honesty. We can renegotiate deals.
Well, I think Jumai wants to ask. Okay. We lost you for a second. You want to quickly get done with that response?
Yes. So what I'm saying is that there's a lot that needs to be considered. It is a problem, but also an opportunity at the same time.
All right, now away from security, terrorism, and all of this encompassed, let's talk a bit about the internal displaced persons and the scourge behind it. Now, a lot of issues has been erupting when it comes to the IDPs in various in Yobe State. Now, can we talk briefly about it, the way forward, and what is actually happening when it comes to the internal displaced persons at the moment? And the fear behind all of that?
I am tempted to still show that America is a bit biased in their interest. Yes, there's, like you said, Christian genocide. I'm sorry, I'll explain where I'm going.
Okay.
When we saw the ambassador, the ambassador that came, he went straight to only Benue IDP camps to verify whether the condition of IDPs in Nigeria. It should have gone to Yobe. It should have gone to Bruno. That is Nigeria. Nigeria is not just Benue. So there are different narratives being sold, and those narratives make them follow only what will pander to their narrative.
But Toba, some of those narratives, or will I say all of those narratives, are true.
Yes, they are true, but I'm saying, why will you go to Benue? Are you saying that America, who has done NGO responsibilities in Bruno for more than 12 years, don't know that there are IDP camps there? Why did that man not go there? That's how you see an agenda. Because an agenda doesn't stop you from seeing one thing. It just tells you that this is the only thing for you to see.
But Toba, let me ask you a question, Toba. Don't you think that most of these IDPs is the same situation with each and every one of them? They are displaced, they were put out of their homes, they're now in another. It's the same thing. So why bother by going around when you can have one who's like a spokesperson that delivers the whole speech for each and every one of them? So it's practically the same thing. It's the same circumstance in which they all had.
No. It's not the same. So sorry.
Please prove me wrong on that, because these individuals were all displaced and they are all in IDP camps. Most of them have lost loved ones, they've lost their businesses, they've lost their homes, they've lost practically everything. Some of them, their parents were killed in front of them. So once you get one IDP, it's the same story all through. So I do not understand why you are being biased at the moment.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying.
Okay.
And I stand by it. That when you want to do a sampling, you don't do a sampling from one spot. You can do a sampling from one IDP camp and tell us that you know Nigeria. It's like going to the 2023 election and telling me that because Tinubu lost Lagos, therefore he lost the whole of Nigeria. That's not a sampling that can give you a result you want. You need to go to at least 4 or 5 different locations. We have 6 geopolitical zones, for heaven's sake. When you want to get data, go to the IDP camps in 6 geopolitical zones, and you'll be able to see for yourself. You'll be able to truly see the picture of what's happening. Are people suffering in IDP camps? 100%.
Of course.
To more than 5. Yes, but what I'm saying is that instead of us to give it connotations that make one side look favored than another, let us face it holistically. Let every IDP camp matter. Let us get relief for every IDP camp. I'm a Christian. Donald Trump just approved $2.1 billion for Christian health care in Nigeria. This is good for me as a Christian, but as an elder and a thinker in Nigeria, it's going to give us a problem in the future. Because we are already dividing an already divided nation. This is my point. So we must see it from a holistic point, because if we don't do that, these people have never been to any country and left the country better. If you see anyone or you know anyone, please mention it now. This is when 2 elephants fight, it is the grass that suffers.
True.
And this is our grass. And we must see it. We who God has given political eyes must see it and say it. That these things we must solve IDP camps as IDP camps. My mentor, former governor, Mekarifi, taught me something. He said, in every crisis, take it as 2 fighting. Don't hear the religious angle. Don't hear the political angles. Who hit who? Arrest that person. This is the way we should handle it. Every IDP camp needs to be looked into. The host, there's nothing you can do about IDP camps if you have not fixed the host communities. You can only make their living conditions a bit better or a lot better.
You know what, Toba? I want to say something. I want to interject a bit. Don't you think we won't be in this situation if the needful was done from the onset? If the government, if we would have provided the basic amenities for individuals in the IDP camps, we would have done the needful to give them a better and stable life. What we portray as giving palliatives and all of these things, truly given to them. And don't you think we won't be in this mess if the needful was done from the beginning?
we won't even need IDP camps if we have fixed our problems. IDP
Exactly.
camps is not our solution. So it's not about them giving good things in the IDP camp or preparing. One of the first incidences we saw that, you see, God bless some of us with political eyes.
Okay.
And the eyes to see what is going on.
Okay.
When we saw NGOs who should be staying for a brief time, paying 12 years lease of properties in Bruno, then we knew that these people are not planning to leave.
True.
They are not on a short game here. See, if you are not smart or you are not led by smart people, you will be the joke of the world. These IDPs are not our problem. What happened to their host communities? Why are they not in their host communities? That is the root problem. If we deal with the root problems, in Benue, the people that are in the IDP camps, they were farmers churning out trailers of yam every day. Now they are now dependents. Instead of us to bother on them, we should take care of them every day while they are in the camps. But more importantly, we must go to their village, solve the terrorism in their village that chased them out, so that they can go back and be able to feed themselves and feed the nation. This is my point.
Toba, let's talk a bit about these NGOs, for instance. We know that some of these NGOs, like you said, they're only here for what they can grab. And you'll be surprised that some of these NGOs, when palliatives or money is handed over to them, they actually keep them for themselves. Now, how can we actually nip this in the bud? Because we saw individuals dragging some of these NGOs, funds were being taken from them. How do we go about it so that it could be beneficial, like what, quote and unquote, what they stand as being beneficial to individuals in, when you talk about individuals who are displaced, who are less privileged, and all of that encompassed? So how do we curb all of that?
You see, this is, it's hard for some of us who have been in this line of foresight, because even your misery is somebody's joy. Your pain is somebody's. If somebody dies today, there's an undertaker dancing because he'll be paid to dance with corpse. So this. There are the hawks, they are the vultures of this world that grow war and thrive on humanitarian support and make money off of it. So these things are there. Part of what drew attention to Nigeria was when Donald Trump got in, was the amount of money going to US aid to Nigeria. People were living off it. People were staying in Transcorp for 4 years straight. Just money spent and lavished at the expense of people dying. When do you think those people will get tired of the people?
All right, Toba, I think we lost you there.
Almost solved. And after a while, they now found 2 other cases of polio again. All of a sudden. Why? The people who are making money off those NGOs of that problem doesn't want that problem to solve. And we must get to the root of these things. The war is always whether to feed a few special mouths or to feed the masses. That war has never changed. And we must keep talking about it. We must keep bringing it to their faces.
All right, Toba, can we pivot for a second and talk about...
It's not...
It appears we're losing connection with you intermittently.
Should be checked upon.
Right. Okay, Toba, we're taking a quick break. When we return, we want to engage you on how politics has also shaped 2025 and what the implications are going into 2026 and ultimately in 2027. Do stay with us, everyone. All right, let's pivot quickly to politics. This year has been very eventful in that regard, no doubt about it. This is one year where we have seen a bunch of A-listers in Nigeria's politics going from the PDP in particular to the All Progressives Congress. And on the one hand, the PDP says it's very worried, just like other opposition parties, that the Tinubu-led APC is fighting, working to make it a one-party state. On the other hand, the APC says, look, it's democracy. People have the right to identify, to align with the side they believe serves their overall interest. And the president himself, Bola Tinubu, has said more than once that, look, these people are attracted to our party because of the moves we have made the last 2+ years, the achievements we've recorded, and where our party is headed. So, Toba, this is where I'm going to allow you to jump in. I mean, you and I have talked about defections here time and again, but it appears that the rain has not just, yes, it has not stopped falling just yet, because we understand there's going to be another defection of a few more governors coming into the APC going forward. Help us understand where we are heading politically.
We are at a very, very, very sad point, because, and this was avoidable. We have been shouting for years, but I'm a new voice, so I understand if my voice is not taken seriously. We have looked at the way politics is run in Nigeria, and if we continue this way, we will self-destruct this entire country. I'm not happy with the one-state, one-party situation that we're headed to, but it is, I understand with the minds of those who are pushing for it. Let me explain. We have a northern and southern politics in Nigeria that whenever you break it, we have problems, and we have serious problems. All this Boko Haram and everything we talked about is an offshoot of this north and south swing, whenever we don't allow power swing smoothly from north to south. So, as it stands, the South has seen a pattern in which anytime a Southerner is in its first tenure, the North all hell breaks loose, and power must change hand, or it's really war for the person. We saw it with Obasanjo. We even saw it with MKO, when MK won an election and he was annulled for reasons that are not known to everyone. And so the president looked at his options. The only thing I can do is to draw the southern governors, because the northern governors were already in APC. The only thing I can do is to draw the southern governors and the governors in the middle belt to join APC, so that once they join, it is easier for me to at least get 40% votes in this side, and it will make the APC governors in the north be hesitant on betraying me or not. So that's the whole drama you are seeing. There's nothing else. Then there's the Makinde and Bala drama here. Makinde wants to be the PDP candidate. He held a presidential press chat 3 days ago and said the point in which he was not happy was when Wike told Tinubu that PDP will support him in 2027. And he said, no, we never had that agreement. Why does that stand out to him? Because he wants to contest in 2027. Bala wants to be his vice. So now, Wike is playing a spoiler role there, along with all the other people that are working with him. And the other people who want to fight him are not, when I say they are not sound enough legally to know how to go about this battle. Once you keep this crisis on, then every governor and every political office holder in PDP has to defect. Because if this fight continues till the election, no PDP candidate will survive. He will not even legally survive. So as it stands today, PDP may not have one single candidate for any position in the 2027 election as it stands today. these are things. So the ADC is already being prepared as the opposition party, and we've seen people move there. Ireti has moved there. Obi and Otini moved there early in January. So we would see we'll still see the same two parties. I don't see us having a one-party state immediately. Though it has worked in some developing countries. One-party system has worked in some developing countries. It has worked in China. It has worked in Rwanda. It has worked in some places. Because we spend too much on politicking. We become too divided as a people because of politics. Politics is our greatest problem in this country and the way we run it. So it has its pros and cons, but I do not support it. I think we need a viable opposition. But these are the things that the president is doing so that he can win his second term.
Since you mentioned Seyi Makinde now, I think it's almost unavoidable to not talk about the People's Democratic Party. First, I want to ask you, from where you stand, and again, given that media chart that during which Governor Makinde for your state interacted with journalists, what would you say is incentivizing his ambition to become president in 2027, and according to you, with Bauchi State's Governor Bala Mohammed becoming his running mate? That's number one. Number two is, there are people who say that the PDP was never prepared for opposition. So they are learning now on the job, and that learning process is becoming a torture for the party, and that's the reason they believe we are seeing this division within the PDP. Help us make sense of this.
So I'm not hearing you.
Oh, I'm sure you're still there, Toba. All right, let's take a quick break now, everyone, so we can get Toba back on the show.
Last line. Sorry.
Can you hear me now, Toba? All right, we're taking a break now. We'll return. The rest of the show will come your way. Do stay with us.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, Mr. Toba, are you still there?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Thank you, sir. Just tell.
I couldn't hear you for a bit.
Okay. Well, my question to you was, first of all, let's understand from your standpoint, right, what the incentive might be for Governor Seyi Makinde's 2027 presidential ambition, especially as you insinuated that he'll be picking his Bauchi State counterpart, talking about Governor Bala Mohammed. That's number one. Number two is, there are people who believe that, quite frankly, the People's Democratic Party was never ready to play the opposition role, and that's the reason we are seeing these, if you like, division within that party. Help us make sense of it.
Yeah, so PDP is the strongest party. Makinde wants to contest. He has the right to contest. He's a Nigerian. But you see, I'm just saying it as it is, because it may not be liked, but I'm saying as it is. The people who want the president to win a second term are doing their best not to have a strong southerner contesting that election, so as not to split the southern votes. That's one of the choices. The second choice is for all parties to zone their tickets to the south, so that it's a southern affair, and then the north can choose from any of the options. I mean, for us to have an election where Peter Obi is on the ballot, Goodluck is on the ballot, Makinde is on the ballot, and Tinubu is on the ballot, and then the north chooses whoever they want out of that. That is another option on ground. But Makinde is seeing an option in which he can contest and be the PDP gubernatorial candidate. Also in politics, you see, whoever is the candidate becomes the leader of the party. Let me say that again. Whoever becomes the main candidate becomes the leader of the party. Let me use Edo State as an example. Dr. Asue Ighodalo came in as a newcomer less than 2 years ago into PDP, into politics. But because he contested in PDP and did very well, by default, he's now the leader of the party in Edo State. So this is what people like Wike is looking at. So I've fought for Tinubu for 2 years of insults, and then you come at the last minute, become the presidential candidate, and then Tinubu's discussion is now with you, and then after that, but if you've noticed, Wike has never said he's going to APC. Every attempt for them to draw him has not worked. They put his name on 2 electoral campaign teams, and he rejected it that same night. So Wike is not planning to go to APC at all, and the president knows that, and the presidency knows that. So Wike is saying, so I have fought to keep this ticket down, and at the end of the day, you want to now become the presidential candidate and be the one to negotiate with the president and become the leader of the party? No, I will not agree. So this is where 2 good friends have now become rivals.
Now, Toba, I want to ask a question. I just want to put you on the spot because, quote and unquote, you say you have the political eye. Now, do you think the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, is making things difficult for individuals in the People Democratic Party, for instance, making everyone to come together under that umbrella of unity, causing discord? What would you say about that, really?
See, I've explained, his point of difference with them in the last election, well, quote and unquote, was that the ticket was supposed to be zoned to the south. Wike stood by that. And PDP threw that ticket open. That was the first fight. And that has not changed for him. He still believes that the PDP should zone the ticket to the south. In that, Makinde has a right and a stand for that. But the fear is that Makinde is a strong candidate. If you put a Makinde, a Tinubu, and then you now have an Atiku as the sole candidate of the North, you're going to have a problem. I'm telling you how they see it, and I may not be right, but this is how they see it. So why do you feel a Makinde to divide the Tinubu vote if what you want is a continuing of a southern president? So this is the drama behind everything you are seeing.
All right. I think, Toba, we're just going to wrap it up looking at economic issues. Now we have just a few more minutes to go. This year has been a bit of a tipsy-turvy for Nigeria. Economic policies, the question of whether we should continue to borrow or not, whether we are borrowing responsibly, whether we're getting commensurate outcomes regarding the borrowing we are doing, implementation of the 2025 budget, which, of course, by yesterday we already heard has now been extended to March of next year, which means we're going to spend the entire first quarter of 2026 by way of continuing the implementation of the 2025 budget. Meanwhile, the 2026 appropriation proposal is in front of lawmakers as we speak and things like that. What are your thoughts about 2025 as it has to do with our economy?
I won't say our economy is doing well. It's doing poorly or for the masses, but it's doing well for big businesses. And usually it will trickle down from big businesses down to small businesses, but it's taking too long. People keep shouting there's no money, but truly the more you go around shops, the more you go around the economy, the more you try to travel this Christmas. I was at the market yesterday to just buy a few things. The crowd is a mammoth crowd. And yes, you know, if I say this, people will come after me. But go to the markets, go to the clubs, go to the churches, go to anywhere you want to go. People are spending. This is economy. Economy may not be nice to you. It may not be. I met a guy who told me this keke, they buy keke with CNG for 4 million now, and you can hire it for 7 million. So whoever is hiring it has made 3 million already. He makes 15,000 naira every day as profits every day. So there are parts of this economy that people are making money off, and they are quiet because nobody talks while they eat. Okay, so that may not let you know what is transpiring in the country. The economy is not completely bad. It's just that there are still a large number of people that are in the poverty line, and it is not something that should be taken lightly. Corruption is still a bit high. I heard of a person who may have absconded with over $20 billion from just one agency that he was in charge of. He was suspended. He was made to resign last week, and news is coming out that over $20 billion has been siphoned. If we can block.
I think we lost Toba there. Toba, are you still here with us? Okay.
If we have 10 other leakages like that, then we will be dry up. And if we have that kind of form, and it's not good. I will not support the president on that. We are over borrowing, we are overstretched. He should tighten up all the ends that he can get money from. If there's less corruption, he will have more money in hand.
All right, Toba, let's talk a bit about the Dangote Group. The Dangote Group, they're trying to make life easier for Nigerians by the reduction of fuel prices in all MRS stations to 739 naira. And yet, when you go to the motor park, transporters still tell you that there's still a high rise in transportation system. Now, what would you say about all of this encompass? Do you think that there are no monetary individuals who monitor these when it comes to transportation, when it comes to fuel, in essence? Once there's a reduction, still there's a high cost of transportation. What do you make of that, really?
I am truly tempted to backtrack a bit to the niceness of Dangote. You see, let me start from you see, just study billionaires, they are all the same. There's a company called diapers.com. They are abroad. They were outselling Jeff Bezos of Amazon on diapers, but they were selling only diapers. So Jeff Bezos offered to buy them over, and they refused. He offered the money and refused. So what he did was to sell every other thing, but crash the price of his ass. And the wonderful masses who we are loved the crash of diapers on Amazon and stopped buying diapers from diapers.com and started buying from Amazon and saw Amazon as a wonderful one.
Yes.
And in a few months, diapers.com crashed.
Yes, it did.
And yes, and then Amazon now came back and increased the price of diapers again. This is just about a billionaire killing competition.
Well, let me come in a bit, Toba. Sorry, I want to interject. I want to just interject a bit. Now, I was talking about this issue with someone, and someone said Dangote is only doing this for himself. He just wants to monopolize the market space when it comes to fuel. How true do you think that is? And that is why the marketers and individuals, quote unquote, I don't want to mention, are trying to frustrate his effort.
You see, these are just, sorry, this is not me hating on him, please.
I know.
This is just two sets of greedy rich people who we cannot do without. They are in a business of daily necessity. Dangote's wealth had dropped to about 12.5 billion before this refinery fixed. Now he's back to about 30 billion in 1 year. He's the richest man in Africa. The marketers want to do this business, and every time he brings, they try to go lower than him. It's the same. I'll give you the illustration. It's the same trick. Anytime they go lower than him to bring fuel cheaper than him, he waits for their fuel to get on sea, and then he crashes the price so that they are at a loss. He is also at a temporal loss, but they are now afraid to go and do another shipment. This is the game. But meanwhile, let Nigerians keep enjoying the fuel that is coming down. Unfortunately, like you are saying, the business people are not even reducing the price for us. But if fuel goes up by 5 naira, they will cry. We are all in this mess together because of our greed.
Yeah. I think I agree with that a bit.
Toba, I think this is a point where we would like to say, Juma and I were grateful to you, for these very valuable insights that you've shared on the program today. And here's wishing you the best of this Yuletide season.
Thank you, Mr. Toba.
Thank you very much, and have a wonderful Christmas and a Happy New Year.
You too. Thank you.
All right. So, incidentally, the year has a couple of days, Juma, to tie up altogether. So, a lot is still happening. No doubt about that. Even the president is taking out time to relax in Lagos while
the AO Festival.
Exactly, entertaining a couple of visitors here and there. But it's also an opportunity for not just the government, but individuals and families as well, businesses, corporations, to get ready properly for 2026. Because many of the things that we've seen in this year, the outgoing year, 2025, will shape 2026. So we're going to ask ourselves, what lessons will we learn? How are we going to bring such value into the incoming year?
Very true. And it's good to let's say you learn from experience. So let's just make the best out of it. Mistakes in 2025, let's not incorporate it into 2026.
Right.
Let's just try as much as possible to do the best when it comes to learning from those experiences and kickstarting with better, more interest, very importantly.
Right. So, well, we'd like to say big thanks to you, everyone, for watching Global Morning today. I am Uyi Agmofwebe, wishing you a Merry Christmas.
And I am Jumai Manson. Thank you all so much for being a part of Global Morning. And remember, all the opinions of our guest, newspaper review, the editorial judgment, Global TV has not added or subtracted to it. We just read it as it is, and all guests are entitled to their own opinion. It's not the opinion of Global Television. Thank you all so much for being a part of the program. Have an amazing day ahead and compliments of the season. Bye-bye.